Welcome to our SME segment, and we have a beautiful guest in the house this morning. Ifeoma Orifa is the MD and CEO of Ascent Care Nigeria, a reputable organization that provides tailored home care. I like that, tailored home care, bespoke and nursing services. Their mission is to bridge the gap between world standards and local practices of medicine and nursing in Nigeria. They offer a range of services including personal care, routine exercise, meal planning, assistance with medication, and so much more. Ifeoma, it is great to have you. You are welcome.
Thank you so much, Mike.
All right, let's talk about your background. You are a nurse who has gone into the business of helping people and all of that. But how did it all start for you? Did you always want to be a medical practitioner?
Okay.
Let's talk about you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. And for starters, as a child, I never wanted to be a nurse. But I had an experience that actually, pushed me towards it. Growing up, I was a person that was opportune to take care of my elderly grandfather.
Okay.
He was 84 at the time he passed.
Wow.
So living alone, I saw him struggle. So that actually, made me to form a soft spot for the elderly.
For the elderly.
Yes, and that was when I was still in secondary school. So naturally, when I grew up, everybody saw it in me that nursing would suit me, although I didn't see it initially. So my dad helped me to make that choice.
I like that.
And since then,
So he saw that thing in you, that spark in you, and helped to kindle that flame.
Yes, he did. And since then till now, I think I'm in the best profession there is.
I like that. I like that you're passionate about this, because when it comes to medical practice, I say after God now day, you guys are the ones and all of that. So,
Yeah.
but you deciding to go into this as an entrepreneur now, getting into it as your own personal business, when did it start for you, and how did you go about it?
All right. So going to School of Nursing, doing my BSc in nursing, I realized there's a gap in nursing profession in Nigeria. And it's because of the way we view the elderly. I've been around the world, and I've gone to the US, the North America, I've gone to different countries in Europe and everywhere. But I realized that there is nothing much for the elderly here. So there are, in fact, when you get into a train, buses, everywhere, there are seats marked for the elderly, the infirm, the vulnerable.
You're right. They think of the elderly much more than we do
Naturally.
here.
But right here, nothing. So that sparked in me the interest to actually make it easier. So I came back home and decided to do something. Okay.
Now, so far, we know it can be a challenging environment. For you who've gone around, a lot of people would say, why didn't you just go there and continue it? What was that thing that made you decide that you want to run that business in Nigeria here, instead of staying back there?
Listen, Mike, my parents had 8 of us. I'm the 7th of 8 children. I'm the only nurse. But guess what? Almost everybody, in fact, just 2 of us in Nigeria, I am 1. Okay? So everybody has gone away. So what happens to them when they are sick? Who do they call on? I realized that this gap must be plugged, because that's how it is with so many families. Who's taking care of your elderly mom or dad? When they get sick, is it that little girl that lives with them, that 8-year-old? They have nothing to give. So I decided to come back home and set up something that will take care of the elderly, tailored for them. And so we can do this in different ways. I'll tell you more about it.
Okay, tell me, how do you do all of this, and how does the business part run when it comes to taking care of people?
Okay, so it's kind of tricky in Nigeria because we're not used to it. That's not our, we're not made for it. Naturally, we want to care for our elderly people ourselves, okay, which is sweet. But with the issue of Japa and also the economic issues in Nigeria, nobody can just stay home. Or, you can't say, okay, just stay home and take care of mommy or daddy. Somebody has to go home. You have to move around, get money and all that.
Yeah.
So there's always a gap at home. You see people dying, elderly beloved parents dying for nothing. So I decided to, to bring in the idea. And so when I did initially, it was like, no, I'd rather take care of my dad myself. I'd rather take care of my mom myself. But people are struggling. So Nigerians are beginning to imbibe the culture. That,
they are.
Listen, you just need a trained caregiver or a nurse to do this work for you. Go out there, get some money, and then the skilled people will do the job for you, and everybody will be happy. Win-win.
Now, a number of people talk about the expense. In fact, a number of people who travel out of the country, that's even the job some people do.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then they will mention how expensive it can be to hire a professional to take care of their loved ones. What is it like when it comes to your pricing? Is it something that is affordable? Is it something that, you know, what's it like?
Okay, so first of all, Mike, it will interest you to know that Asenke has three different areas.
Okay.
So first of all, I'll start with the history. When we started 6 years ago, we didn't have caregivers in Nigeria. So Asenke started training caregivers. Went to the US, partnered with American Caregiver Association.
Wow.
And then I came home and started training caregivers first, because I needed people to work with. So I trained caregivers and decided to place them in homes. I now saw that people needed them at home. So we placed them at homes, and then the next thing was to start also, so placing them in people's own homes is called domiciliary care.
Okay.
All right? And then we have other type of services where we actually train caregivers and, you know, registered nurses in Nigeria are working in our care home. So we actually have a world-class care home.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So apart from domiciling the caregivers in their various destinations, you get there's also a home.
Yes, for them. And it's a beautiful place.
How long did it take you to set up all of this?
To be frank, this whole idea started and I didn't have much cash.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes all we need is passion and know-how. So I knew what I needed to do, but I didn't know, I didn't have what I needed. So I decided to go in and train first. And then after training, people started asking for us. So we started building, some cash. So with that, after just some years, we were able to afford our own care home.
Wonderful.
So it was organically grown, yeah.
What has been the most challenging aspect of doing your type of business in Nigeria?
So in Nigeria, the way people perceive nursing, the way people perceive caregiving is like you have a house help. You know, there's this general thing where they treat people that feel they have a little, treat people somehow. So I struggle to tell families, listen, this person is not your slave. They are caring for your loved ones, so take it easy. Don't try to box them in and try to treat them like...
Sometimes it's transferred aggression.
Yeah, frustrations, and then this thing of hierarchy. Yeah. See, I'm bigger than you, I pay you. And you work in my house, so I'm going to deal with you. So sometimes we deal with those issues. Other times, there are some other issues that we have. For instance, the payment. People do not really have so much to pay. So our caregivers have to manage what they get. And it's still fine, because within our Nigerian economy, what we get is okay. You know, you don't want to compare it to what you get abroad. It's not the same thing. But it's fine. Apart from the people problem, we don't have so much issues. The financial issues, we are tackling it little by little. It's just to know exactly where you're going to and take it easy and do the journey.
Is there anything that maybe the government or any other people can do to ensure that this kind of business thrives, that more people like you come out? We have more care homes, more caregivers. What can be done?
In fact, a lot can be done. Nigerians deserve better. Our elderly parents who have worked in the ministries, worked in different places for 30, 35 years, retired, they deserve better. So what we can do, Nigerian government can partner with likes of Ascent Care and others, actually empower us to do more. It's a social need, okay?
It is.
To build these things is a major social need, to build care homes and actually, have people there in a subsidized rate, if at all. Because in some other countries, they do not even pay anything, provided you've worked for the government and you have some...
Exactly.
You're good.
Yeah.
So once you're elderly, you'll be cared for.
Retirement benefits and gratuities and all of that.
It should be. I wish it to be, put into a part of our retirement scheme. It's going to help the system. People are going to work without fear. What will happen to me at the end? Because that's what happens. And now, when this thing has been imbibed into the culture, everybody is fine. You know you're working without fear.
You don't have time. Just one final. Have you thought about it? Is this something that you do where you go to companies and partner with them and add it to their retirement plans where they can just access your care maybe over a period of time where they pay into something. Is that something you've ever done or thought of?
Yes, we've done it. So right now we're in partnership with different hospitals.
Okay.
We have approached some HMOs.
Some HMOs.
Now, funny enough, interestingly, maybe because they do not know, because it's novel to them,
okay,
they are like, okay, we're not sure. Yes.
Can so they be that ignorant?
Well, they are getting there. I believe with time, we'll all get to a point.
I and all of us here are wishing you the best. We want such a business, this kind of business, we want to succeed. And just go out there, continue breaking the bounds. And thank you for your service. Thank
you so much. And I'd like to say that if you're interested in ever working abroad as a caregiver, Ascend Care is your best plug in training, because we are partnering with American Caregiver Association.
Wonderful.
So they give you certification that actually will help you to work and live abroad. Straight up.
That's quite something.
All right.
You the best. All right. If you don't mind, we have some breakfast for you for all that you've done.
All right.
Okay, let's get to it.